Hey everyone, who's ready for game 2? I'm ready for game 2. This is game 2 of CrossRoads Challenge Spring 2015. ETC list 2400 points versus Vampire Counts, and this is David from the Hammer Bros. I got to play one of the Hammer Brothers, and he's going to be running a pretty cool vampire list. So this game is about like 20 pictures, not a lot of pictures compared to what I usually have, but there's a lot to be said. I wasn't really anticipating playing vampires. There's only 4. And about 6% chance of playing one at any given game, but I am playing vampires, and this is a modified Blood and Glory. Essentially, it's Blood and Glory, but if your opponent has all their fortitude in 1 unit at the end of the game, they count as being broken, essentially. So a Gut Star wouldn't really work well, because even if you have been broken yourself, if your opponent has all their heroes in 1 unit, then, you know, it is what it is. They don't get a full credit. So my opponent's running a pretty decent list. A Lord Vampire level 1 with heavy armor, great weapon, shield, Night Shroud. Night Shroud becomes a real pain in the ass. Talisman of Preservation, so he's got his 4 board, and the other Trickster Shard, getting rid of other people's boards. And we also have Vampire Lord level 4 with Forbidden Lore, so he's got Light, interesting, Armor of Destiny, so he's got his 4 board save, Dispel Scroll, Sword of Might, and a shield. Alright, so what's up next? We got 2 heroes level 1 with Forbidden Lore, which allows them to bring light magic. So we are playing a Vampire Light Council. Very interesting. I've never really seen this done. I didn't know this was even an option. I didn't even know what Forbidden Lore was. And then one guy has the Cursed Book, which is pretty cool. You get to roll a die, suck up some dice, but get a bound spell off, which is pretty useful and annoying at the beginning of the magic phase. And then for core, we've got some Dire Wolves. 56 skeletons clocking in at 325 points. It's a lot of guys for no points. Or a lot of guys for not a lot of points. We've got 3 units of 20 zombies at 65 points. We've got 2 units of Fell Bats and 2... Oh, what is this? 3 Vorgeists. 3 Vargeists, which are fun, frenzied guys. And then 2 Terrorgeists, clocking in at a total of 2,399 points altogether. So now let's go on to some predictions. Last time around, Madass was the only one that got right, and he thought I was going to lose, and I did. But now we got Vince thinks I'm going to get a loss here, 7-13, and then a couple of losses from everyone else except Landon Mert, who thinks I'm going to get a tie, and Madass thinks I'm going to get a win. So I'm hoping Matt's right this time, but we'll see what happens. So for magic, my level 1 gets a Warp Lightning, then I have Death Frenzy, Blessed with Filth, Wither, and the Dreaded 13th. All excellent spells for this game. Dreaded 13th will really help with dealing with that mass number of infantry. And then Death Frenzy and Blessed with Filth on the Storm Vermin is pretty awesome. So since there's 6 levels of magic in Lore of Light, we're going to assume my opponent has all of the spells. And then we move into deployment here. So I got Hellpits on each side, ready to deal with the Terrorgeists. Terrorgeists scare me due to the Scream, which every time I play Vampire Counts, I just realize how unfair that ability is, and I don't play them often enough, so I always forget how dangerous it is. And then I just have a mix of everything here and there. Gracier and BSB are in the Bunk unit, double Bonebreaker Lord is in the Vermin, and the level 1 caster is in 1 unit of slaves, that's to the right, and then the Doom Rocket caster, or Doom Rocket engineers in the left slave unit. The Gunner Runners are not deployed there in the middle. I actually forget to roll for them for the most of the game, for probably the first 5 turns, so I think I roll on the 6th turn and they come in, but that's a forgetful me. Take a little bit of a closer look at his deployment. We got some Vargeists facing backwards. We got the dogs chilling out by that forest. Zombies in front of the Terrorgeist, and then the big brick of skeletons with all of the casters in there. Well, all of the heroes, which are all casters at this point, but that's 4 vampires in there, so that's pretty good. And we got 2 more units of zombies in there, and then the Terrorgeist and the dog on the opposite side. One important thing to note, though, is that the middle piece is a ruin, so that's difficult terrain to go through there, or march through there, or charge through there. Whatever it is, it's just not friendly, not fun. That's why I'm deployed on the side of it. So Skaven gets turn 1, which is huge because that's 1 turn I could save with the Storm Banner, but also I can really put some pressure on my opponent here by running up. So I think it's a good idea that I'm just going to run into combat. I got to support those Hellpits. I'll decide later or talk about whether maybe I should have taken my time getting to the unit of vampires. But either way, I think this was a good move. Got to start clearing off some of those zombies. So it looks like the only spell I was able to get off was Blessed with Filth, so that kind of deters my opponent from charging with the skeletons if he decides to do that. But anyway, we move into Vampire's turn 1. I do pop the Storm Banner, which is super, super important because I've got Fellbat units back there, 2 units of 2, that cannot move. Their movement is like 2, so they're not going anywhere. And the big monsters, the Terrorgeists, are going to have to, pivot and move and wheel and whatnot if they want to, and they just don't have that 20-move fly, that 20-inch fly, which is pretty awesome. So it really disables his movement phase. So let's go ahead and try chaffing me up. We got some zombies getting in the way of the Hellpit. The Vargeists are still facing backwards. They can't fly, so they just kind of move around that way, but they're still facing backwards. We got some zombies going in on the Storm Vermin, kind of get in the way there. And the dogs charge with Rat Dart, which is fine by me. During magic, he gets off the Withering onto me, which I'll take it for now. That's fine. He gets it off with the Cursed Book, so it eats up a few power dice. But you know what? It remains in play, so worst comes to worst, I could always take it out in my next turn. Yeah, this blurry picture shows you that 2 wounds gets onto the left Hellpit from the screen. The right Hellpit does all right. He doesn't roll high enough to take him out. And we've got the dogs during combat kill the Rat Dart and overrun into the slaves. Fine by me. So skipping turn 2 from left to right, we've got Hellpig going ahead running into some zombies. I do have the engineer go into that difficult terrain. Good thing he doesn't take a wound, but he is going to be ready to doom rocket that giant unit of skeletons. We've got the Storm Vermin running into the zombie chaff, and the Hellpit to the right does make a successful charge, which is huge. So the Hellpit comes in at this angle where I want him to go ahead and overrun into the skeletons, because if I go further left, I would overrun but not hit the Terrorgeist, which is what I was really hoping for. The freaking Doom Rocket guy goes ahead and has a perfect shot here, 15 inches right in the center of that unit, and he overshoots a ton. Nothing significant in shooting or magic, so we go ahead into combat. Hellpit crushes those zombies. Essentially, I just need to kill half of the unit to get the overrun. So if there was 25 guys, I need to kill 12 or 13. This way, when it comes to combat res and all the other things, I just get it. So that's how that works. And then the Storm Vermin, the heroes alone just wrecked them, so we didn't even have to roll for the unit. So I go ahead and overrun into the skeletons. Now, it gets to the point where I can only get so much of my unit in with the way the overrun works, which really left me debating whether it was a good idea or not. I would have a stubborn Hellpit against some vampires, but you know what? If the Storm Vermin held back, I could have gotten more of the unit in, and once we get to challenges and stuff, things get real messy. To the right, the Hellpit does 2 wounds onto the Terrorgeist. So Vampire turn 2, there's only a little bit of movement with the left Terrorgeist because the Storm Banner is still up. So the Fellbats aren't going anywhere, and the zombies behind the Storm Vermin go ahead to face the Hellpit in case things go well over there for me. But we move right into magic here, and my opponent does really well, and I do really shitty, and that's a huge problem. He gets Doom and Darkness onto the Storm Vermin. I'm pretty sure I just let this through, which might have been a mistake. But in my eyes, I've got a ton of killing potential in this unit. I need to negate the other light spells that he has. However, I do not prevent him from getting 2 more off. I forget the names, but essentially the skeleton unit, they all have always strike first with weapon skill 10 and initiative 10. So it's going to be a little messy right now. And the fact that the rest of my Storm Vermin aren't in on the unit to attack the skeletons to get combat res, I'm stuck in a challenge, and then some guys make way, and then the bases of the ogres are just bigger. So this combat in his turn ends up taking about 40 minutes, most of the game, to be honest, because there's just a lot of, well, if I don't challenge and he challenges, who moves where, and we had to call over a rules judge because we both wanted to optimize our options here because this is the combat of the game, and it ends up being that I don't get as many attacks in because my heroes take up space, the Storm Vermin aren't touching the unit, and the challenges are negating guys from touching each other. And I mean, it's just not wonderful, but very time consuming. With all that said and done, though, there's really no casualties because heroes are fighting heroes with high weapon skill, high initiative, decent ward saves. The Hellpit will end up causing some casualties to the unit, which is nice because the impact hits and the Thunderstomp and whatever he rolls will do enough damage to allow me to win the combat. At least here on the right flank, the Hellpit Abomination takes down the Terrorgeist, so now my Hellpit can go ahead and deal with some zombies. Oh, and after this debacle of all the heroes fighting each other and being a pain in the ass, I think I ended up winning the combat because I do reform and slide down so that I can face my opponent full on and be happy. So here's Skaven turn 3. Hellpit on the right goes ahead into the zombies. I will of course do that one first so I can get an overrun for the Hellpit sandwich. I do have to play it safe here at my bunker, so the bunker unit has essentially been moved up next to that rat dart. This way, if he does do a charge, it will be a flank charge, and he will only be able to get one guy in, which at that point, he'll be able to do, I don't know, 4 or 5 attacks, maybe kill 5 guys at the most, but I will have ranks, I will have steadfast, I will have leadership 10 with a reroll, so I don't care. However, I do need to pay attention and play it safe because a well-placed charge with the Vargeists will destroy the bunker and kill my caster at BSB. And there it is, as foreshadowed, the Hellpit sandwich. I killed the zombies to the right. I guess I don't have anything significant in Magic Phase, but here it is. Fucking Hellpit sandwich. Storm Vermin in the front between 2 Hellpits. This is awesome. This is what I needed. This is great. Now remember, they're still at like initiative 10, weapon skill 10, and always strike first and reroll. Huge pain in the ass. But you know what? Challenge is going on. The heroes are in, and I can't ask for anything more. So you can see that there is a ton of casualties. I'm super happy about this. I'm pretty sure I got Death Frenzy off, which is why that token's there, because there's no poison attack card. So I've got tons of attacks. Storm Vermin are in. I lose a Hellpit to the left. Characters, I think one of mine takes 2 wounds, and then his guy to the left, at the corner of the unit to the left, takes a wound, then one of the other vampires takes 2 wounds. But what a time-consuming fight. This one takes not as long, maybe like 25 minutes, but a lot of, Trickster Shard negating people. We have to really pay attention to that stuff, and the Shroud screwed me because I have the anti-hero sword on one of my guys, so he's getting all these extra attacks. So one of the guys is at 10 attacks, which is awesome, but he's not at strength 10 because he doesn't get strength bonuses, and then that hurts some of my other magic weapons and my strength bonuses from the halberds on the Storm Vermin. But all said and done here, I kill enough guys, obviously, to crumble him some more, and the Hellpit dies. So the sandwich is over, but it happened, and that's something I'm glad it happened, because it's just awesome. But I'm still here fighting fucking vampires, so let's see what goes on. So we go into Vampires turn 3 with only 7 slides left, so not too much more going on. The Fellbats are ready to move because the Storm Banner is finally over. They can go ahead and go places. The Terrorgeist to the right can go ahead and slide over there and do his stupid scream bullshit into the combat with the Hellpit. But you know what? I'm happy. So there is a charge into the Dangerous Terrain at the bottom against the Rat Dart rear. That's fine. Yeah, it'll cause some panic, but you know what? It's better than getting an attack on my bunker, even though I was able to screen him. Over here, a Scream does an epic 4 or 5 wounds. It looks like I'm down to my last wound here on my Hellpit. We do go ahead and get a failed overrun onto the Storm Vermin. I was actually hoping for the overrun because with Death Frenzy, I would have a lot of attacks backward at Initiative 5 that probably would have given me enough combat res to crumble everybody and just be done with it. But that's not the case. I do get enough combat res though to kill the rest of the skeletons. There are 3 of the 4 the vampire heroes left, so that's good. I'm able to take one of them down. There are some rat packs to the left over there. I forgot to say that when the Hellpit died. The Hellpit to the right though does die after the 5 wounds from the Terrorgeist Scream. He wasn't going to survive a combat with a vampire hero. And that's really it. So I get all the points for the skeleton, so I'm happy about that. And you do see a lot of Storm Vermin are starting to die, so I only have 2 full ranks left. And into my turn, I do a flank charge onto these Vargeists with no anticipation of what's going to happen. I do make a flank charge with the rat packs, the giant rats, or whatever, the rat swarms, just to get some combat res, because that's a charge, or a flank charge, or whatever. They're unbreakable just in case for some crazy-ass reason the Storm Vermin run away. And the Gutter Runners decide to show up on turn 4 to sling away at the Terrorgeist, but nothing too crazy. And the Vampire Heroes continue to fight down to 2 left, so I'm pretty sure one of the level 4 guy is still alive. The guy with the Shroud, he's still there being a pain in the ass. But do note that the Bonebreaker heroes are both dead. They do go down. But the Storm Vermin are alive, which is good. But man, the fact that I didn't kill those Vampire heroes is not good. They're still sitting there. A lot of points sitting there. And here's the last shot with Vampire turn 4. Not too much going on, except we do get a Scream killing the rest of the Gutter Runners up top. He just takes them out, no big deal. And the Storm Vermin, they fight the heroes, and we're steadfast there with leadership 10. At this point, I guess leadership 8 with a reroll, but that's fine. The Storm Vermin stick. I do not kill the vampire heroes. Nothing happens with these Vargeists, and I do walk away with a minor victory. If I recall, it's like I got like 12 points, and he got like 9 or something. I did break him first, which is great because the fact that all my units are alive, I don't think I lost any banners or anything. I broke him, and he does not get anything because his fortitude is still all in one unit. Oh, actually no, it doesn't matter. I broke him. I got the extra points, so I'm sitting on like 12. So I got a huge loss and then a minor win here. But anyway, Matt S again for 2 for 2. I got a win here, and he's the only one that said I was going to get a solid win. Lennon Merton said I got a tie, but looks like Matt S is leading this here. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. Fun game versus one of the Hammer Brothers, the Hammer Bros, and crazy superstars, Death Stars. I must say, though, I do like the idea that your opponent cannot capitalize on all the bonus points if all their fortitude is left in one unit. And that really helps with the gut stars and even units like this with the skeleton and all the heroes in there and the BSB. It's pretty cool. But I take out zombies with banners, so it's all good. So stay tuned for Game 3. I'm going to try to get it out sooner than later. It took forever for Game 2 to come out because I've been lazy and distracted. But I want to get all these friggin' battle reports. I've got like 7 battle reports backlog. I want to get them all out before 9th edition comes out because then who's going to want to watch these videos? But hey, hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one.